Hi, Rama. It's week 9, day 1 of our Bible narrative reading plan. Today we are in Exodus chapters 17 through 19. We've seen that God has delivered his people out of Egypt. They are in the wilderness right now, and God is meeting their needs by providing manna from heaven, and yet the people are complaining over and over. Here in chapter 17, the people come to Moses and say, "Give us water to drink." And Moses asked them, "Why are you quarreling with me? Why are you testing the Lord?" But the people thirsted there for water, and they grumbled against Moses, and they say again, "Why did you bring us up out of Egypt?" Even as God has miraculously shown himself to them, they continue to grumble and complain, and they think romantically, nostalgically about what happened there in Egypt, that they say, "Why did you bring us up out of Egypt?" As if somehow Egypt was better than trusting God and being where God would have them to be. So they complain against God, and God provides water for them. And then God provides for them in battle as they defeat Amalek. They fight this country, and Joshua leads the people into battle, but Moses, acting on behalf of God, is above them. He keeps his arms raised, and we see that Aaron and Hur, they have to support Moses, but in the end, the whole point is that God is the one fighting the battle for them. God is the one leading them and delivering them. Chapter 18, you see Moses' father-in-law show up again, and he gives wisdom to Moses in how to handle the situation of being the leader for so many people. But then in 19, Israel approaches Mount Sinai. And this is a critically important scene. We know that in chapter 20 that we'll see tomorrow, God delivers his 10 commandments, the Decalogue. But here in 19, they approach Mount Sinai. And we learn what it means to approach God, that they have to cleanse themselves and consecrate themselves in order to hear what God is going to say to them. We recognize with our New Testament eyes that that's not something we can do. We can't make ourselves clean, but that's the cleansing that comes from God himself. More about that at a different time, a different avenue, but we see this pattern as God's people interact with him at Sinai. It's the same pattern that we see throughout Scripture of how we are to approach our holy God. God tells them here in verses 5 and 6, "If you will indeed obey my voice and keep my covenant, you shall be my treasured possession among all peoples, for all the earth is mine, and you shall be to me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation." And the New Testament plays off of this idea, showing that this is just a foreshadowing. This is what God is going to do with his people, his church, that we are a kingdom of priests and we are a holy nation, not because of anything in and of ourselves, but because of what God has done for us on our behalf. So we see here that God is preparing to speak to his people, and he's telling Moses, here's how the people need to consecrate themselves. Here's how they need to approach me. And so Moses obeys God. He goes down and tells the people, this is what we need to do. So tomorrow we'll see what happens as the Lord gives his words, his commandments to his people. Here's a summary of today's reading.
For more information, go to tunemyheart.org.